Thank you for watching and liking and sharing my videos. Stay safe. Why not do yoga? The badass yoga teacher problem. Hi, I'm Troy Cox, founder of Safe Yoga School and the Sattvic School, Finding Balance in Your Life, and the author of my book called The Why of Yoga. And in this series, The Why to Not Do Yoga, the Safe Yoga Reality Check, I want to talk about a teacher that I've been. The badass yoga teacher. You know the type. The packed room, the loud music, the heat as high as it can go, 116 degrees, I remember. The big personality, the ego, the advanced poses, the confident voice, the reputation. The teacher everybody says is so amazing because the class is hard or sweaty or intense or dramatic. And I want to say something very clearly and cleanly, and that is a hard class does not automatically mean a good teacher. A popular teacher does not automatically mean a safe teacher. I know a very famous teacher from LA hurt my shoulder. And a badass yoga teacher may not be teaching yoga at all. They may be teaching performance. It might be a show, and that's fine. That's fun if you're not getting hurt. They may be teaching ego, and they might be teaching people to override their body and not listen to them. And that's where yoga can become really dangerous. I've heard about so many times students have been hurt, and that's why I included the chapter 9 in my book, The Why of Yoga, where I wrote about unsafe yoga environments, teachers pushing students too far, crowded classes, hot rooms, poor instruction, and students getting injured because they trusted the wrong person with their body and maybe did the wrong class because they weren't guided towards what was safe. And that's what I'm hoping. And this is one of the biggest red flags I've seen in over 20 years of yoga, and I'm hoping to try to prevent it. The badass teacher who makes the class all about themselves. When you say thank you, they say, you're welcome. Their sequence, this is my sequence. Their music, I have the best playlist ever. Their body, their brand, their difficulty level, their reputation, their ability to make people sweat, shake, strain, and feel like they kicked some ass. They survived something. They're tough. But survival is not the same as transformation. In yoga, the science gives us the opportunity to transform who we are. And intensity is not the same as wisdom. And exhaustion is not the same as yoga. And quoting other wisdom teachers doesn't make somebody wise. And the teacher is not there to dominate the room and be the star of the show. The teacher is there to serve the student. That means watching bodies, offering different options, explaining what's happening, listening, respecting the student's limitations, knowing about anatomy and how the body's intended to move through space and time. And a good teacher knows when to back away, knowing that a 79-year-old beginner, a former athlete with injuries, a stressed-out caregiver, a hypermobile dancer, and a 25-year-old fitness enthusiast should not all be pushed the exact same way. Bodies are not the same. The postures are not going to look the same. I know it sounds obvious, but in many group yoga classes going on right now, that's exactly what happens. Everyone moves together. Everyone flows together. Everyone even breathes together. Everybody sweats. Everybody's pumping to the music. And the teacher might never really even see the students. They might not even see the individual student. Who is that on the mat in front of you? And that is not yoga instruction. That's choreography. And I love a good Zumba class. And choreography can be fun. And fitness can be fun, and sweating can be fun. You got to make it fun. But let's not confuse all of that with safe, intelligent yoga teaching. One of the most dangerous things that a teacher can do is shame their students. And I've had it happen to me in a hot yoga class that I never went back to, and I left crying. And that's because I was listening to my body. If a teacher mocks your limitations, pressures you to go deeper, makes you feel weak, grabs your arm and pulls it up not knowing you have a neck injury, happened to me, and acts like pain is proof of progress, that's a warning sign for you. And I want you to stay safe. If a teacher says, you should be able to do this by now, that might be their ego speaking. I can do the splits. At 58 years old, can you? I mean, who cares? That's not yoga. If a teacher grabs you, pushes on you, pulls on your body, hits you in the back of the leg, that's a warning sign. If a teacher never even asks you about your limitations, your injuries, or encourages you to listen to your own body and do whatever you need to do despite what they're saying, that's a warning sign. The teacher's main selling point is that their class is brutal. If they are so proud about how hard it is, it's not yoga, because your body's not a prop in somebody else's performance. You're not the background in a YouTube video or a social media post. Your nervous system is not a toy. You trust something a teacher says. You believe that teacher earns the trust through safety, consistency, humility, skill, and ethics. Not through charm, not through popularity, not through their outfit, not through spiritual quotes they got out of a book, not through being the hardest in class in town, not through talking about all their problems to make them seem like they're a trooper or a survivor. And I hope that you'll understand that you are allowed to say, no, I'm not going to do that. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to modify. You're allowed to drink water whenever you want. You're allowed to leave the studio. You're allowed to decide that a teacher's not safe for you. Get out. It's okay. You don't need to apologize for protecting your body. That's one of the most yogic things you can do, is listen to your body and say, my body's telling me, no, I'm not going to do that. Yoga is not supposed to be disconnection from yourself. It is supposed to be integration, to make you more aware of what makes you who you are. Now, here's the question I'd like to ask you for today, and I'd like this to be a conversation, so please let me know what you think. Does this teacher help me trust my own body? Does this teacher train me to ignore my own body? That's the question that matters. Is the teacher getting me to trust myself, listen to myself? My next book is called The G of Yoga, Gurus Exposed. I want to keep you safe. You won't believe some of the things that are happening out there and have happened in the yoga world. And this video series I'm doing now is part of that conversation, because unsafe teaching doesn't always look obvious. If it's popular, you might do it without even knowing it's unsafe. Sometimes it looks popular. Sometimes it sounds inspirational. And sometimes it looks really powerful. Everyone's going to this class. Sometimes it looks like a badass teacher with a full room, an ego bigger than the room, and that perfect playlist. But yoga is not about being impressed, and yoga is not for narcissists. Yoga is about becoming awake to your own inner voice that's trying to guide you. And sometimes listening to yourself means this class is not for me. This teacher is not for me. This environment is not safe for me. And that's not a failure. That is called discernment and making choices that uplift you. In the next video, we're going to go deeper into the bigger issue: yoga gurus, scandals I've seen and heard, ethics, and the problem with blindly trusting people. Because the same pattern that shows up in a classroom can show up in a whole life, in a whole system built around a teacher. I'm Troy Cox. I'd really love to hear what you think about these points. And you can find my first book, The Why of Yoga, including the chapter 9, Why Not to Do Yoga, on Amazon. And remember, don't quit yoga, quit unsafe yoga. Namaste.